My name is Gretchen Rubin, and this is the Happiness Project. The resolution for this week is to pay attention to the dog that doesn't bark. In one of the most famous Sherlock Holmes stories, Silver Blaze, Sherlock Holmes is trying to figure out who killed a famous racehorse. And he figures out who kills the famous racehorse because there's a dog who doesn't bark. And he realizes that if someone had come to the stable, the only person at whom the dog would not bark would be the person who owned the stable and owned the dog. And so for him, the dog that didn't bark was the very, very important clue. And in everyday life, a lot of times the things that we have to be grateful for are for the things that never happen at all. So you get a medical report that comes back normal, or there's that incident at school that just sort of blows over. And something that could have been a big problem ends up not being a problem. And yet it's very easy to just go about your everyday life and not remember how lucky you are, how grateful you are for something that didn't happen. And it's one of the sad foibles of human nature that a lot of times it takes loss or the threat of loss to remind us of what we have to be grateful for. So I often try to remind myself of the dog that doesn't bark. So the resolution for this week is to remember the dog that doesn't bark. And the thought for this week comes from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and the story Silver Blaze. Sherlock Holmes points out to Watson the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. And Watson says, "The dog did nothing in the nighttime." And Sherlock Holmes said, "That was the curious incident."